modern day masculine man, take one.
Ooh, what makes a modern day masculine man? When you drink your liquor straight, a modern day masculine man. I pay all the bills, and I tells my woman the truth. Got my shit together, do what I wanna do, say what I wanna say. I won't bend, I won't break, you are not me, and I am not you. I kept it real, so now I can do what I wanna do. Modern masculine man. Welcome to Man School.
Welcome to the Modern Masculine Man Podcast, Mitch. Woo! What up, fam? What's going on, Trab?
What's up, brother? What's up?
Chilling. Let me go ahead and give our tonight's sponsor a little shout out like I always do. We're being brought to you by Spiritual House Sage. It's antimicrobial. They gonna pay me once I can say this shit. Antimicrobial. It's good for, as they say, spirits, all types of things. But it just gets me our head right up here. It gives me a little, it's not tree, it's sage. What up, Enzo? Keep winning, family. So, man, look, before we get started, man, I had a little hiccup today. We getting started a little bit late, but how your week going? How's things going for you so far, man?
Man, everything going good, man. Hey, it's the summertime, man. The season, what they call it, the Jesus season, man, where we picking that harvest. You know what I mean? So vacation time, kids at home, you know, creating memory bank deposits. Just feeling good in the season, man.
Well, man, you already know what time it is. I love the summer, man. My wife is a school teacher, so before she was a school teacher, she was a hairdresser. So we spent a lot of time together all the time because she kind of pretty much set her own schedule. And then when she became a school teacher, you know, it was like the first time my wife ever was working like a real job. Like, not that doing hair is not a real job, but, you know, being able to set her real schedule. And when she was doing hair, she could only work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You know what I'm saying? And once she became a school teacher, it was like, damn, my whole marriage is different now because I'm so used to being able to just chill with my wife when I'm off. Because, you know, once I stopped teaching, I ain't had a job in a while. I just been hustling, making money, you know, doing how I do. But now I'm back working. So the summer is good because, like you said, making memories. We joined the Y together, swimming, sauna classes. I'm showing her how to play basketball for some reason. My wife, she swear up and down she thinks she could have played basketball if somebody would have taught her. So I'm in the gym shooting shots with her, showing how to play basketball. And the coolest thing is we got my daughter set up in the daycare at the Y. So we drop her off. Man, that was hard for me, man, because she in there with all was so-called regular kids, and them motherfuckers in there jumping around going crazy, and she in there, man. So I'm excited for her to be around a lot of regular kids playing, and she loves soccer. So every kid like their own thing, and for some reason my daughter loves soccer, man. So all she do is be walking around kicking the ball all around, and all the other kids be running around her. And I be nervous as hell, so I just go in there and lift weights now. I done got used to it, like, fuck it, she good now. But like the first 2 weeks, I was scared as hell, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so look, tonight, man, we got a good topic, man. It's a good topic. It's basically saying you got the money, now what? You know, I think we all get to a place financially as a black man where we say, shh, you know what I'm saying? And that don't mean we got the money like that, but it's like we say, okay, that motherfucking check engine light, come on, I got her ass. You know what I'm saying? Well, or you can go get you a new putt if you need to. You know what I'm saying? You just drop about $5,500 on the car. Or when you buy your son a car when he turns 16, get your daughter a car. You know what I'm saying? When as a black man, we all trying to get to this point where my granddaddy used to always say, "Ain't no damn extra money." Like they said, Alex, you got a few extra dollars I can borrow. My granddaddy said, "Ain't no damn extra money," but we all get to this place or strive to get to this place, and anything can happen at any time and all your shit can be wiped out. But we do get to this place where we kind of say, hey man, I'm feeling all right about my damn finances. You know what I'm saying? Because we know how far we come with that shit, man.
Yeah.
Like the group Nirvana say it's like in Buddhism, it's this perfect state of peace. Have you gotten to that point? Is it because you got your bread up or you view bread differently? You got your life insurance and you feel like if you leave, your kids going to be straight. What is that place of peace financially for you? Or is there a place? Because I believe there's a place that I've been striving to get to for a long, long, long time. And now, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like, man.
Yeah. I think for me, and I think just in general, as a real man standing in position where people depending on him, I think it's just not feeling vulnerable. And I don't know if you can say what that is in an amount. That's you knowing your situation. Just knowing, like you say, when the bullshit come, boy, don't take you down for the count. You know what I mean? Just being prepared. But I always say this about us, man. We romanticize the ideals of becoming with no reality of being. So it's like, who are you now that you got the money? It's like everybody got ideas of who they want to be, but when you really get to certain levels where you realize I have grown, man, you've been waking up being that for a long time. And just like any type of growth, it's realized more than is recognized. You know what I mean? Like, dang, boy, I ain't know you that. I woke up one day, my son was 6 feet tall. Like, damn, when you get that tall? But
yeah,
you don't see it every day when you're progressing for real in real life.
Yeah. It's funny because every man has a different point. I always joke with my brother, like I always say, I got one of the easiest jobs in the world. And I make decent money. And my brother was working at GlaxoSmithKline, and man, they was starting people off with 40 out there. And he had did about 15 years out there. He was just like, man, I'm tired of my job. And he had such a beautiful shift. He worked 12-hour shift, but he only worked Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he was kind of the guy that I always could go to if I got in a jam. You know what I mean? And we always, because we brothers, we always comparing bank accounts or just, he older than me. So he always kind of encouraging me because I'm more of a free-spirited person. Plus, I be letting my wife handle certain shit. And he don't like that. He like, man, don't let your old lady handle it. You need to be the man on the shit, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when he got tired of his job, he said he wasn't sleeping well. I was like, well, won't you quit? And he was at a place where he was like, man, I make too much fucking money. And my job is so easy. He was an engineer. He had worked his way up to where he wasn't schooled to be an engineer, but he just learned the shit to the point where they like made the nigga an engineer. So he like feeling like a lot of the white people mad because they made him an engineer and he ain't really qualified to be one and all this shit. So it was just a lot of mental stress for him. So I always said, won't you quit? And he would be like, man, I can't quit this job because I'm making this good amount of money. I can't imagine not making this amount of money. And so it got to the point after about a year and a half, he came to me. He said, man, you think you can get me on at your job? I said, yeah, I can. But if you're going to retire, won't you just retire, man? You've been working since you was damn 14, 15 years old. And he was like, now I got to have some coming in. So it's different with each person because at one point I was like, man, I would never quit that fucking job. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then I started saw how his health was suffering from it. And then when I encouraged him to quit, Now that he finally quit the job and now he's working at my job, which is a little less money, but he like, man, how do your job even exist? How do we got this job this easy? I said, man, this God blessing us for all the hard work we ever did. But my whole entire point to saying that was, I have always looked at my brother feeling like he was at that place that I wanted to be, but he never felt at that place. And even now, he's like, sometimes people in the family call him a tightwad. You know what I'm saying? And that's because I guess he's very frugal with his money, but he spent his money on his own self too. Yeah. So sometimes when people depend on you to be the one to borrow some money from, if you say no, they call you tight, or they try to bad mouth you. But then when they see him go buy a brand new damn Harley Davidson motorcycle, it's like, hey man, I thought you was crying, as granddaddy said, po mouth. Like you was acting like you're so broke when you pull up, paid cash for this Harley Davidson. So it's a different place for everybody. Has there been anybody in your life that has encouraged you or kind of financially showed you the way, or somebody that you aspire to say, you know, man, I want to get a house and gate like him, or I can't wait to get my yard like him, or get my money up like him? My brother has always been that person.
Yeah, growing up, my goal when I graduated high school was, I was hard broke because I didn't go to college, so I felt like I had something to prove. And like I say, my daddy being an entrepreneur, I was always exposed to entrepreneurs, or I would say high-scale black men, confident black men in a sense. They had the good jobs. So I saw a format. You get a good job, or either you have your own business, you buy a house, you have a wife. You know, I saw that. So when I came out of high school, that was my goal. I say, well, if I don't go to college, I'm going to get me a good paying job, and I'm going to buy me a house. I'm going to have everything that in 4 years, when my graduating college class come out, I'm going to have that. So that was just my plan, man. And the more and more I just got around men who had that, I realized it ain't never really about money. It's about discipline. It's about sacrifice. It's about knowing where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. You know what I mean? But if you really understand where you're going and you wake up and run the play, it leads to somewhere. So I just understood that at a young age, and it accumulated to me buying houses, to me having nice cars, and people will still say, Trab, man, you got that money. Nah, dog, I just got discipline. And that got to add up and lead to something if you for real about it. But most people don't have that. So it comes this illusion. And see, and let me say this, make the money, don't let the money make you. See, I say we romanticize the ideas of becoming with no reality of being. See, when you wake up and be real every day, you understand what I'm saying, man? The ideas be your life. That be real life. And people who don't have it, you know, yeah, that's how it works.
Man, I gotta give a good clap for that, because you know, sometime in life, you basically just said what my brother been trying to tell me my whole life, but he just didn't say it that way. You know what I'm saying? Discipline. He used to always talk to me about being disciplined with money and saving money. And I used to always say, man, it ain't like granddaddy days. Like back, times changed. Back when granddaddy, they worked a job 40 years. They save, you know, they used to put money under the mattress, and then, you know, people start doing 401ks, and like now I'm fucking with investments and stuff. And he like, man, that investment shit, man, my 401k, this, you need to be disciplined, da. And now even that he's learning from me some, he's got a nice investment in portfolio, just kind of following me, because I'm like showing them my Cash App. Like, look, you can invest in crypto on your Cash App. You can buy stock on your Cash App, something that he never knew about. But once I turned him on to investing and he got a grasp of it, his portfolio shot past mine, because he had so much more in his 401k when he took it out and all that to do something with. And He used to always just say, man, I just let them motherfuckers get my 401k. They never know it. And then I remember when his daughter turned 18, he like, shit, I'm going to just put my child support in my 401k. I've been paying it 18 years. You know, it was just all the things he used to say. And like I said, the way you just explained it, a lot of people think that you got to make a lot of money. But our grandparents, and they had a lot. You know, my granddad had a brick house and a Cadillac. You know, and he drove a cement truck for all I know, my whole life. But I guess it's like the movie ATL. You remember when T.I. was talking to his little brother and he showed him that money. He said, you ain't got to hustle to be a dope boy to make money. It's like the disciplined working man. I want to talk about that for a second. You said something amazing that I just couldn't see. When I was like, I'm going to college. We had one factory in my hometown that was like the super job. If you can get on at this cotton mill, that was like a good job in my hometown. And I was like, man, I ain't working at the goddamn cotton mill. And my aunt was a supervisor down there, been down there ever since I was a kid. And she was like, I'm gonna get you on at the cotton mill if you don't want to go to school. But I had so many college offers. But when I first got out of college, I got a job at PBM Graphics. It was a printing company, and they actually made the Pokemon cards, and they still make them. And man, just coming into that work factory, manufacturing environment, the good old boy system, man, I hated that shit. How did you, as an 18-year-old, how can I ask you this? But I just got to ask, as an 18-year-old man, say, I'm going to get me a good job. Meaning it might have been at the fucking cotton mill, whatever plant that y'all had, and go in there and say, you know what, from day one, I'm gonna grind this shit out and be disciplined and save my money and go through all the bullshit. Cause I done worked at plants before.
Yeah.
How does one do that, look down the corridor of time and say, I don't mind doing this for however many years that it takes for me to retire? Like, break that down for me,
man. Coming in for me, right? My daddy worked there for 13 years, but he had left and you know, but that was his last job. So I remember it was a week after I graduated. Like I say, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I already know I'm gonna win. So my daddy said, man, they say they're gonna get you on at the paper mill. Go down there. So I'm like, all right. Now, like I say, I already got high respect and high regards for this job because my daddy worked there. And growing up, you know, yeah, we lived in what we call Hidden Valley in Charlotte. That was kind of like the middle class or the middle class black people. So I knew this was a good job, you know. So I went there, man, and they had a production system. And I had my daddy's name, so everybody had expectations on me. And the production system was you can make as much money as you want according to how much you can do. And me looking at it like I'm 18, I'm a raw athlete, need to be playing college football somewhere. I just took the challenge to say I'm finna be the greatest. Mm-hmm. And by 19, this was 1999. I was making $23 an hour, working 7 days a week, time and a half, double time on Sunday, bringing home $1,100 a week, staying with my mama. So it was like I began to look at my checks and say, man, I make more than such and such daddy. I make more than such and such daddy. So I understood my position. But like I say, when I got on that journey, I became a leader amongst men. I had older men who've been working there for 20 years who overcame addiction. Once I realized that buying a house wasn't nothing more than having a 580 credit score, $500 in the bank for 6 months at one time, and $500 to pay a registration fee. Man, I had everybody buying houses. I had all my friends buying houses. So once I saw the structure and I realized this way I'm at. Every young man came there, man. It was like, this ain't no failure. This is a foundation to work and get everything you want. So that's all I know. That's all I am today. I still wake up all these years later and run the same play every day, man.
You know, it's funny because as we talk about different paths, like the guy Enzo said, he couldn't do that. That wasn't for him. My brother did that. He went and got a job at the cotton mill. Then, you know, he worked there a certain amount of time. Then when that shut down, he got another job. And he always would just work a job. He got a job at the damn glass plant, the tire plant. And I just remember seeing him with these work uniforms on. And I remember how he used to say how hard the work was at times. And when, like I said, when I worked at PBM Graphics, they was doing Pokemon cards. So we were stacking big sheets of poster board, stack it, push it in a printing press, and set up the settings and run the press. And that's what I did. And it was hard work. But I will say this: I was fresh out of college football player. I can't remember having the attitude of these old motherfuckers in here can't outwork me. You know what I'm saying? Or these older men can't outwork me. And I excelled at it. And I can remember why I quit it, because I had got up to 26 an hour as a second man, because I didn't realize 4 colors make all colors. Yeah. They call it magenta, cyan, which is basically blue, yellow, red, and black. Them 4 colors make every goddamn color under the rainbow, every shade that you want. So, but it's a certain amount of color and water that have to go into that to get these shades. So the second pressman, his job was to adjust the color water and adjust the printing plates. So that was more of a job where you had to be, they called it the back job that I got hired as the mule job. So it was like I got up to the point where I could do the mule job, and the pressman could tell me, get up on the press and check the water clock. And I could adjust all the water for the coloring and stuff. And I kind of just learned it. And one day the actual owner of the company came out, and they had heard, who is this young black guy that can run the press so well? I could walk off, leave my press, because we rhythm people. That bitch, them damn sheets shoot in, and I could get that bitch to where when I get them settings and them wheels that lift and them suckers to go, I speed that bitch up. I swear to God, man, this old crackhead taught me that shit that was there. He had worked that job like 40 years, and they would never let him move up. That was kind of joke. Terry always gonna be a mule, man, but he didn't care because he taught me that rhythm. And when he taught me that rhythm, I was just as good as him. And I could walk off and go outside and smoke a joint and hear my motherfucking press from damn near 100 yards, man. Cause that rhythm, when I would walk off, it would be in my head. And I had got so good to doing that. One day our second pressman was sick, and I ran the back of the press and the middle press. And I was always running sheets like Terry, because we was running sheets way more than everybody else. Like people running 80,000 sheets a day. We running 110 easy. So the owner of the company came out there one day, and he happened to see me. He said, that's that guy. Because what happened was we had swing shifts, 12-hour shifts, work 4 days on, off 3 days, vice versa. So I would work overtime on the other shift, like you, young and getting it. And so once the other crew saw how good I was, they started talking about me. So whenever I would work overtime, they would start them good old boy, white boy system. I want Vaughn on my press. I want Vaughn to work with me today. I want to see how many I can run with Vaughn. So my name had kind of got around as like the new old man. He's a young man, the old man, and taught him how to run the press like him. The things that they used to say that was so racist in my face in a slick way, like, old man Terry got you new man in here running them like him. Can't nobody run the press like them black guys. You know what I'm saying? Little shit like that. And so the owner of the company came through, and he said, Vaughn, he said, you the guy that run the press like that? I said, yeah. He said, show me what you do. I said, it's a rhythm. Come on. I wouldn't show him exactly how to do it, but I said, well, look, I'm going to set it up. And he had some other managers, big people with him. I set it up. I said, now let's walk off. I said, listen at it. And they was like, and I said, let's walk off. The further we got away from it, I said, you can still hear it, don't you? They said, yeah. Man, they start high-fiving and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to send me across the country to show other people how to run this press to a rhythm.
Come on, dog.
So he tells my fucking supervisor, move me up to second man and give me a raise. Second man go from like $26 an hour to $30, but it's a better title. My supervisor gave me the fucking raise, but I realized I was doing both jobs for 2 weeks. I finally went to him. I said, hey, when you gonna hire a mule guy? I'm doing both jobs. He said, Vaughn, ain't nobody made second man as fast as you made second man ever. I said, what's that got to do with anything, Bruce, of how fast I made second man? He said, well, the owner told him to move you up, told me to move you up. You know, I wouldn't have gave you second man. I said, well, if the owner told you to move me up, that means he know more than you. Basically, that's what I'm telling him. He said, Vaughn, if I hire you a second man, these guys around here, they don't mind you making the money they make. But, you know, basically, in a nutshell, we used to niggas working the mule job and they done made you a second man. I said, so y'all, and I'm young. And at this time, man, I'm very in the church. So, man, I beat him upside the head with that Bible for about 30 minutes. That cracker got the crying in there because he believed in God, too. I was pulling out scriptures. Said, man, I'm going to heap coals upon your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck is you? Long story short, this man is telling me he don't want to hire me a second man. Let me work both jobs because it's going to make the other white men in there mad in this good old boy system. And, man, I never forget, I was making so much money, but my motherfucking pride kicked in. And after I talked that Bible to him, man, that young boy in me, I done jacked that motherfucker up against the wall, man. They had to pull me off that motherfucker. They had to escort me out that motherfucker. I got fired and everything, man. And it's that I'm saying all that to say, after that experience, man, that's when I started teaching. I was like, man, I just can't take that factory work, man. I can't take the idea of feeling, you know what I'm saying? That shit fucked with me, man. Have you ever went through anything like that in your job?
Man,
you know,
man, let me tell you something, man. I always got a saying, man, you fucking with me, man. It's like you telling a story. And I don't know that part of you and you don't know that part of me, man. But I want to leave your story where it's at, but I want to say this, man. Like I say, hero mathematics. Meet me at the Salem, brother. If you're a Salem type brother, you ain't got to step foot in no factory. You could be there at the 6 in the 1. I'm a factory type, manufacturing type guy. I'm a 5 and 2. It's a brother 4 and 3.
Yeah.
If we the same and we understand what it's about. Like I say, watching these older men and being exposed to these older men who was entrepreneurs, who had different type businesses. I understood a process. A lot of them worked at what we call Philip Morris. A lot of them worked at my job. A lot of them worked at the steel mill. They made ounce amount of money and had extra to be leaders in the community. So this shit boils down to levels of leadership. Just hearing how you walk into a printing factory as a natural leader and get put in position to lead. That's a universal story of a 7. My job, and look, and let me say this, man. I worked in a paper mill. I ran a pasting machine. It was what we call puzzle pieces. Anytime you see a puzzle, a thick piece of paper, that's a paster product. And in the bottom of a furniture drawer, when it's that thick paper, all of this paper, okay. we produced this. We reproduced this. We was the #1 producer in the world making paster board, right? And it's the power I want you to understand when I say we romanticize about ideals of becoming with no reality of being. I want to show you how we all be real if we real, right? But just as I came in there young, and my job was based off rhythm, I pick up 2 and push 2, and I had a catcher that got in the same groove with me, in the same story. NC State sent their engineers to study my hands and my rhythm and my movement. And today they don't have a manual paster in the whole industry. They studied me. They copied me. I was the greatest in the world to ever do this. You understand what I'm saying, man? And I too got challenged and got broke and got made an example of, because as a leader who understands that he's the greatest or something in the world, even if don't nobody understand what this shit is I'm doing in the world, I know I'm the greatest. Man, that came with a lot of pressure, a lot of racism, a lot of black men accepting. I watched egos say, this young boy here is the one. And I really became the boss man, the only boss man in a 100-year-old company at 27 years old. And I got fired. Oh, some black shit, dumb shit. Look, for real. I don't care. Look, man, that's a whole nother story. But the point in both stories is, get there how you may, but you is as real as your reason. And I don't care what you do. You can be a sales representative. You can be whatever you want. But if you're a man and you got responsibility, and every man know a foundation is where he lay his head, what he drive, and who depend on him. Yeah. But if we understand that, dog, what you gonna do now that you got the money? Every goddamn thing you can to maintain that.
Yeah.
Every goddamn thing you can to maintain that. And if that ain't what you gonna do when you get the goddamn money, you bullshit.
You know, that's where that discipline come in from, man. We're gonna get into a money conversation in a second. I mean, even deeper. I remember when my mother passed, my sisters, they were so distraught, you know what I'm saying? And they was like, we're gonna sue the hospital and whatnot. And I was like, y'all sure y'all want to do all that? And they was like, yeah, and I was like, well, you know, that ain't gonna bring them back. But if y'all down with it, I'm down with it. So they went and got a lawyer, and my sisters hit me and my brothers up like, look, you know, it's a lot of back and forth, blah, 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 blah. If y'all sign these papers saying that we can manage this shit, we can move forward. So I said, okay, me and my brother said, okay, we just thinking them girls sad and fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And they hit us up like, hey, we finna get some bread. You know what I'm saying? We didn't work this shit out, and the lawyer found out that some shit happened and blah, 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 and we finna get some bread. And so at this point, I'm like, well, shit, any bread I get is cool, because, you know, my mama gone, literally, like my mama gone. So I ain't thinking about no goddamn bread. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, we get this bread. And it's the first time in my life I ever got a lump sum of bread like this. Man, I fucked that money up so fast, man. And I was a grown ass man.
Oh, you man.
Know? But I got a point, because I want to go and I want to caveat into this conversation, because I got a point. Discipline and having money, and what you're gonna do what you get when you get it. You be in certain situations where, in my mind, my mom was the type of mom that's like, I'm gonna raise you, I'm gonna take care of you. But if I needed some money, like, hey mom, I want to go to the stadium. Mom, we want to go to the swimming pool. Mom, can I have? My mom was like, ain't giving no kid no damn money. That was her mindset. Like, I don't give kids money. Like, I buy shit for kids. So it's like, if you want to go to the pool or something, you better go rake some leaves, cut some grass, or prime to some tobacco. You know, where I'm from, we grew up on a farm, but there's a lot of farming. So you could make money priming tobacco, picking cucumbers, picking watermelons, baling hay. Every kid, that's for the summer. That's like raking, shoveling snow in the winter. Like, every kid gonna make his own money where I'm from. So that's kind of like the customs. Like, nobody giving no kid no damn money. So when we got this check, me and my brothers, we sat around, because we know a different mother than my little sisters. We sat around one day and we just sitting in the room looking at this check like, man, we didn't got a fucking check, man. Mama gone, but we didn't got a check. And we kind of bust out laughing like, man, mama ain't never gave us no damn money. And look at all this damn money we got. So the first thing we do as a family, the 6 of us, brothers and sisters, we go to Miami, we get an Airbnb, we gonna spend some time, and we paid for the whole family and everybody to come down there and chill, because everybody know we done got some bread, but we, you know what I'm saying? But long story short, they was like, what you gonna do with your money? I was like, I'm gonna fuck mine up. And they was like, you ain't got no plan with it. My brother instantly, Charles Schwab investment, you know what I'm saying? And I fucked that money up so fast, man. And that's the first time in my life that I look back that I said, damn, I always been kind of decent with money and not fuck up money because of my older brother. And I grew up poor. So I will always say, if I might be poor as a kid, I ain't going to be poor as no damn adult. But man, I know the feeling of, for the first time, getting a lump sum of money, and I ain't gonna say how much it was, but it was enough money that if I wouldn't have fucked up, I could just be even in a better position now. But I fucked it up for the fuck of it. And I don't buy no gold chains and I don't buy no sneakers. So I fucked it up in my own way. Me and my wife having fun doing what we do. And my wife was like, you sure you want to fuck this money up? I was like, yeah, my mama gone. It's a check that I got out of the blue that I ain't expect to get. I'm fucking this money up. So I said all that to say, you got the money, what you gonna do with it? Can you think of a situation where you learn not to fuck up money, where you done fucked up some money and you learned the lesson from it, or what makes you not fuck up money? Because I've seen myself in times where I've had, a nice little stack and I fuck up 1,000 or 2 just for the fuck of it.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to discipline, and I can only speak on how I learned it. My first job, 15, was at McDonald's. I was proud. I got a job, happy. I couldn't wait to do what I wanted to do with my check. At the same time, I was a barber. I cut hair. I was the neighborhood barber. I would make about $120 a week cutting hair. So my daddy told me when I first got my check, he said, we're going to the bank. I said, all right. He said, you're going to open a bank account. And he said, put your whole check in there and keep $20. And I was like, well, I want to buy. And he made a threat. He said, don't you keep a $20 out your check. And I want to see your bank stub. And if you don't keep a $20 out that check, I'm gonna beat your ass now. You hear what I'm telling you? So I'm mad. I remember calling my grandmama. He won't let me cash my check. My grandma couldn't say nothing. She stood down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew I had to cut hair to get what I want. So me working, right? I turned 16. We had an old 69 Nova in the backyard. Hoop just came out. My cousin, he was a baller, had a hoop there. I wanted to be my own version. I'm working. So I said, Daddy, can I hook that car up? He said, yeah, but you're going to use your own money. So I'm like, man. So he took me to the bank, showed me my bank statement. I had $4,000 in the bank. Man, neighborhood mechanic helped me. He was known as the crackhead mechanic, but he became my best friend. Helped me piece my car together. My cousin found another man to paint my car for $200. Went and bought me some chrome for $800. Put me a system in there. Hey, look, I'm harder than every dope boy my age. And all I done did was work at McDonald's and cut hair. So instantly I saw that discipline can make me shine more than any of this shit. So I just kept running that play all the way until my 28th birthday, man. I had $30,000 saved up in the bank. I had just got married, and I'm just talking this in terms of money. I had just got married, spent $11,000 on my wedding, had just bought a truck, all this from working, running the same play. Simple mathematics. It cost me $1,300 a month to live. I divide that by 4. That's what come out my check. I don't touch everything else. If I can't get it out of this and save, then it ain't meant for me. So simple discipline. So Before I had children, like I said, I had 30,000 in the bank. My ego hung. Man, I got money. Lost my job. Now it's looking like, yeah, he done had that factory job. Now everybody want to see him fall. I'm like, I ain't gonna give them what they want. I spent all my money, man, in bills. 6 months mortgage. They say you ain't got money unless you can pay 6 months mortgage. I think I paid 8. I got money, but I ain't gonna fall. So now the first time in my life I've been broke. Say, make the money, don't let the money make you. Man, I'm fucked up. But I'm still running a business on the side, still working, still running the play like the old man. I ain't never been in a situation where I'm vulnerable, waiting on payday. But I started doing real more powerful shit since I ain't had that money, man. It made me realize who I am. And even though since I've been a father, boy, I've been really fighting, trying to get that foothold in not feeling vulnerable. But maybe that's what make me go now. Maybe that's what make me fight. But I'm getting older and I feel like I'm getting weaker. So I give my soul, even in this moment, hoping that goddamn some type of way. I ain't got the bag yet, but what I'm gonna do when I get it, goddamn, I'm talking like a motherfucker trying to get there to see.
You know
That's
what?
where I'm at right now, though. Yeah.
It's funny, man, because like I said, when you got kids and you always said a man is his only strong as his reason, you know what I mean? It's amazing because I will say this. All of the guys that I know that became manufacturing workers or laborers, I would say are in a better position than I am going the college route. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what I feel. You know what I'm saying? It ain't know what I feel is what the fuck I see. My friends that are laborers and laborer motherfuckers. Like I went the college route because I grew up on a farm and I didn't realize how wealthy we was to be able to produce everything we needed right there on the farm. So I was like, I ain't gonna be no working motherfucker. You know, I didn't out in the motherfucking sun. I always was like, I ain't gonna use my body. I ain't gonna use my body. You know what I'm saying? And especially after I had that incident at PBM Graphics where I moved up so fast and what happened and I didn't lost a job. I was like, man, I ain't gonna use my body. I'm gonna use my mind. But when I sit back and I look at my friends, and that's something that a lot of people don't want to say, I feel like the manufacturer, laborer niggas ended up doing better than the college niggas. You know what I'm saying? Because when you leave college, when you get a master's degree, you're going to take out some motherfucking student loans or something. I don't care who you is. So there's a certain amount of debt attached to that. However, let's talk about the divide of the working man and the hustler. Because you said something earlier. I've been a hustler through social media, man, selling my detox. People call me for one-on-ones, my little Facebook check, little TikTok money. You know what I'm saying? Long story short is, but I've always said I can't rely my livelihood based on a check from social media. I just got banned from TikTok for life. I got to create a new page or something, but the page that I was monetized that had built from 0 to 60,000 people, you know what I'm saying? One day I said the wrong thing and it's like wham, but I did get my last check from them. So that the point I'm making is, as a man, it's no different than a woman selling her body. As a man, when we sell our labor and our health and how tired we get, being in the position to where speak on being a manufacturer, have that feeling of if I get sick or hurt or you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah. Well, like I say, man, at the end of the day, man, we all going through the same thing, working to survive and to maintain.
Yeah.
Life ain't no trick. you every day we wake up, you hear this cliche shit. We all got the same 24 hours. Well, we do. What the hell you do in the 24 hours to produce an income? I mean, it's that simple. I don't care how you cut the cake or slice the pie. The equations and the mathematics is about income and outcome, right? Yeah. So I want to tell this story about, like you say, about lane. I had to accept a lane in my life, right? I always drove nice cars, but I always knew in order to drive nice cars around my budget was around $25,000, $30,000, $300, $400 a month car payment. That was about my range, right? And if I knew my range, I could drive a high level car at 5 years old. So I knew I could get the higher level so much that I'm not, and bring it down to my level if I wait 5 years to get that car. So I was that type of guy. You know, I roll around in the big body, but at the same time, I brought it down to my level. And on this level, it's not really seen that much. So it's like, damn, he the only one got one on this level. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes we all want to be that, right? So that was me.
Like getting the 2020 BMW 650. You know what I'm saying? I see
now, and nobody has ever really seen that, because that has stayed on a level that most people don't go to or be around. So
and
now
most time people don't know the body changes in cars changes, so they don't really know. They think you got the brand new motherfucker.
Yeah. So. Like I say, this was always my life. This is what I saw. This is how it worked. This is how the middle class shine on the lower class, right? So now that I got a family, things change. This was around. I had an 08 Yukon Denali, and I think it was about 3-4 years old, so it was still new, right? And my wife broke down in the middle of an intersection with my children, and I was at work that day. She said, "Baby, we broke down. This man gonna try to get me out the street." And man, I felt like Superman. Man, I broke up out that motherfucker. The idea of my family being stuck in an intersection with 2 small babies. You know what I mean? Man, I got there and got, or whatever. And I felt so fucking vulnerable. I say, man, you know what, man? Fuck what it looked like. I need security. I say right now, going to be the first time I'm going to buy me a brand new car, because that's what I need my wife and children to be in, the most reliable thing right now for this moment. So I went to that dealership, and I went in there truthfully who I was. I'm a $25,000, $30,000 type of guy. I ain't paying more than $500 for no car payment. This is my lane. They say, okay, we got you a brand new GMC Terrain. I said, well, I ain't never been no Terrain type of guy. I'm a Yukon.
Boy, you funny as hell.
I said a Terrain. I mean, it was a little cute car.
Yeah.
This is going to be the main car. I said, baby, you like this? She said, yeah. And I had to accept what my lane was. I looked at every make and model in my lane. GMC, I'm a Terrain. First brand new car. And so when I pulled off that lot and I looked at who I aspire to be, a Yukon Denali. This was in 2020. They were $76,000. Know how much that is a month? Right? So I had to realize and accept, boy, I ain't in that lane for real. So when you see people in that lane, hey, look, it's an equation to know if they real or not. What the hell you do?
Yeah, like
what the hell you do that you can afford a $80,000 car payment plus mortgage plus this? And I'm not saying anybody got to answer that or not, but life is about lanes. So what you gonna do when you get the bag? First thing you got to do is know who the fuck you is and what lane you're in.
Yeah.
Because once you determine that and you cool with that, see, I got homeboys that can go by that. They in a whole nother lane. But when I pull up in my Terrain and my family get out, we true, man. And what's most important is me feeling confident when I ain't with my wife and children. They ain't gonna be stuck down in the intersection because I went for how I look and what somebody think more than being truthful in my lane.
Yeah, man, that was one for the books right there. You know, it's funny because I'm a buy a car cash type guy.
Yeah.
You know, because anything that's my always been my lane. You know what I'm saying? And my wife, for some reason, she said the new Volkswagen van that came out, she always wanted one since she was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So we both working, we talking about that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, the idea of a car payment almost make me throw up because I'm just going from here to there. You know what I'm saying? So but we talking about that Volkswagen, man, and it's funny, like being in your lane, man, and knowing your financial lane. It's crazy because somebody said, live like Trab, you're gonna be all right. Like I said, as you was breaking that down, a couple of things you was breaking down tonight that I was like, man, I wish I would have got that early on. But like we was talking the last show we did, having that father, you know what I'm saying, forcing you to say, okay, thing that I had to learn as a grown man. You know, every man that sold a little reefer at some point. Yeah. I ain't gonna say every man, but I had to learn as a grown man, save my paycheck and live off my little hustle money. You see what I'm saying? I had to learn that as a grown man. For a long time, I was fucking up the hustle money and using some of the paycheck. But whereas you said you cutting hair, your daddy taught you at an early age. McDonald's take 20 from that. You got them get that other all that bullshit, nigga. You cutting hair. You see what I'm saying? Those are the things that value. Having a father that had already worked at a company 13 years where you saw, hey, look, we lived pretty good for my daddy working at this company. So I'm going to go to this job where I saw my daddy take care of us pretty good at. Having dad had a good name to get you in the door. You know what I'm saying? So it's so many things that, like I said, a man with a father learn before you even get started in life, your work ethic, the idea that fuck it, hey man, I'm going to here, I ain't go to college, I'm going to here and I'm gonna kick ass at this plant, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like the saying that the cream gonna rise to the top no matter what situation you put it in, you know what I'm saying? If a motherfucker want to work hard and got that work ethic, he gonna make it. I want to caveat for a second because I want to talk about. Go ahead, Trav.
I just want to go back on this because I had a conversation with some young men, and this real life shit. And I told them, I say, man, if you're gonna go to college, know what you're going for and be real about why you're going. I say, go there to get a tool to use. Don't. I say, I understand the run of the mill, the experience, but go there to get a tool to use. And I say, and if you ain't going, I give these 3 scenarios to any young man who ain't going to college. Go get you some maintenance training and get you some maintenance certificates. Go get your CDLs. You ain't got to go around the road. Get you a job at somewhere like FedEx or somewhere like XPO. Get you one of these local jobs or go work at UPS. And I tell them this for one reason alone. If you ain't making $30 an hour out here right now in this world, man, you can't afford to live by yourself, for yourself, be a grown man and say, goddamn, who is that out there in my driveway?
Hey man, and said it, $30. That's $30. Hey, look, you remember at one time it was like when we was coming up, it was like, man, if I can get 20 an hour, you know what I'm saying? Back in 99, when I graduated high school, 95, 96, $20 an hour could take care, you know what I'm saying? You could be a man. But now, man, it's crazy, and it's a lot of men that are at the mercy of a woman or at the mercy of life because they don't want to fucking work hard. And I be on niggas' ass all the time. That's what I wanted to get into, man. This whole, the working man is a sucker, regardless of what you do, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like this. like you said, it's 24 hours in a day, right? I was talking to a homeboy not too long ago, and he had gotten some shit. I said, well, man, they hiring their goddamn sheets, man. I seen the damn shit say $15 an hour. I mean, $16 an hour, $18.50 if you work at night. I said, that'd be a good start. And he was just like, man, I can't see myself working at no damn sheets and da-da-da-da-da. I said, but you got to get back on your feet. You got to get going. He's embarrassed of who he used to be seen working in sheets. And I was trying to explain to him, man, I don't know why a nigga be so ashamed about where he work when everybody goddamn working. Man, like you said, it's 24 hours in a day. You get yours at the factory. I was getting mine teaching school. Somebody might get theirs washing cars. Somebody might get theirs at McDonald's. But why do we stratify ourselves when everybody getting up on the way to goddamn work? What are we looking at it like? Well, his job.
I said this in the beginning. We romanticize the ideas of becoming something with no reality of being any goddamn thing.
Yeah.
And like you say, the man that say he can't work can't be dependent on and ain't being dependent on by no fucking body. At the end of the day.
Unless somebody then gave you some goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Some people get left money and you know what I'm saying, but for the most part,
so I'm saying this to say, I got an alter ego say I'm the son of a junk man. My daddy told me at 18, you keep a pickup truck. He put a business in me that I always had to do. And that's what I always did, right? Until my body say, Trab, you can't work no full-time job and do this shit. Man, you got to quit this shit. So I came up to have idle mind. Now all I do is goddamn have ideas when I'm off work, cause I really ain't doing shit. So, but I'm saying I'm in mental space. So when a lot of people ain't doing shit, all they doing is talking ideas. And if all you got is ideas in these 24 and you ain't doing anything, like they say, fuck where you drive. Tell me how you live. Because where you lay your head say the most about who you is. When a motherfucker can't have that conversation, dog, what the fuck is we talking about? And you don't want to work. Where you live? Where do you live? Anytime somebody say they don't want to work or what they don't want to do, ask them where they live.
Yeah, man, I think one of the dopest things that I always said, not having a father growing up, I will say my granddaddy's example. I watched my granddaddy get the big piece of chicken. I watched him kick his goddamn boots off. I watched him have his own land. I watched him keep his yard real pretty. You know what I'm saying? And I always watched him grill out on the deck, you know, so I always had this attitude of, hey, man, I just want my own shit. I want my own shit. I want to walk out on the back and piss. You know, I got a spot on in my grass right off standing off my deck. The grass grow taller. I take piss, make grass grow better. It's one little spot. And I ain't lying. I'm just telling you, it's like I've always felt like, you know, I just want my own shit and be a man. And I get up and I go out and piss on my deck every morning, look outside, talk to the birds. And I'm telling you, that grass is thick. It's thick as fuck in that one spot. So I just couldn't imagine, you know what I'm saying, being in a situation where I got to answer to somebody or always on the move. I got a cousin, he a smooth nigga, but he always at the mercy of a woman because he don't want to work. It's like he'll work a job, but then it's like because he don't want to take care of himself fully, he always moving from woman to woman house. And I'd be like, God damn, man, I just can't imagine that instability because you don't want to work. It's too many people I see out here that's like you said, where you lay your head, nigga, that's the best. You can't come up with no bad example. Oh, this nigga live with his mama.
Let me say this, and I ain't saying that to be harsh.
No, it's true though.
I'm gonna put it to you like this right here, right? If you ever played any type of organized or team sports, you understand this. At the end of every practice, especially football, they have what you call conditioning. Everybody line up. Everybody tied. And at some point, the coach finna make you run sprints, give it all you got. And this is to condition your mind, your spirit, and your body that when you don't have nothing left, you got to give it all you got. And everybody that's on that team line up. And some people get down there fast. Some people be about to die. But even the last one trailing, everybody standing there waiting on him to come on. And if he bullshitting too long, the whole team finna have to suffer from this shit. Oh, he bullshitting. Everybody give me one more.
Yeah.
And everybody gonna look at this motherfucker and say, man, if you don't get your shit together, so what you gonna do when you get the bag, or once you got the bag? Like you say, everybody ain't the MVP, everybody ain't the leader, but you got a position and it's real, and you got to know how to play that motherfucker for real. Mm-hmm. Like I say, what I'm gonna do when I get the bag? Man, I keep on having to stop and get a bag of ice before I come home. My ice maker fucked up. The old Maytag done got old. Boy, I hope I can get $10,000 on a lottery ticket to get some new appliances up in the bed. What I'm gonna do when I get the bag?
Yeah.
Them answers really define who you is. And sometimes the question be more powerful than the answer. So really, if you listening to this now, ain't nobody above the bullshit. Yeah, what you gonna do once you get the bag? Now that you get it.
You know, before we get out of here, man, I just want to drop some game. I seen this shit, man. I was thinking, I always say, I got this song called I Don't Brag on the Bag. And as I got older, I made that song because I was like saying, how much cash can you really have in a motherfucking bag? You know what I'm saying? Like, as black people, we come up with these sayings and we come up with this idealism. And you got these rappers and these young men and these athletes getting robbed and getting killed because they walk around with cash in a bag. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, I'm getting on the plane, my private jet. I got a Louis bag, $100,000 of cash. I got $500,000 and I'm finna land in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And you end up getting robbed. So it's a situation where we say we get in this bag, this bag that we get into. It's like symbolic for I got to show. It's really symbolic for I got the show. Now, having said that, I shared this thing today where this white lady was talking to this black guy, fucked his head up. I think she was bullshitting him because chains were chains. But long story short, she said, I like your chain. And she was telling this young black man, he had this big ass gold chain on with the big ass medallion. And she was saying, during slavery, my people, when they sold y'all, the bigger your chain was symbolic of their worth. Like, it might be two guys the same size, but the one with the bigger chain, he's less brazen. He listen more. He ain't gonna give you no trouble. You know what I'm saying? He work harder. He require less water. And she was just breaking it down to him, all the things that the chain represented. And she was like, that's why black men want to change so bad to this still day. It's programmed into our DNA. Now, I don't believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? I believe
no, that shit real than a motherfucker. Yeah. I want to tell you how too. God damn, that shit real.
But I don't believe that shit because there's so much shit in our DNA. But that's something we'll have to debate one day.
Now, I don't know about the DNA, but I want to say this to that.
I get her point. My point is the show offness.
Yeah.
When we get the bag, that show offness that we can't help. I joke all the time. I said, if motherfucking Pharaoh of Egypt would have been building an army instead of building big ass sphinx and statues and pyramids, Alexander the Great wouldn't have came in and took every goddamn thing from him. It's like that pageantry, that show off. Like they said, Mansa Musa had all this shit and he went from place to place spending money, fucking up economies. That show off spirit that we have in us, you know what I'm saying? That right there has been our demise because, like you said, you can be disciplined and have it and still not have to show it off, or even be disciplined and not fuck your future up and still have the same. Because I joke all the time. I said, every dope boy I know ain't been no goddamn way, ain't got no passport. I got everything they ever did. Like, what the fuck does selling dope do for you that you did that I didn't do? You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna have you wrap it up on that right there, because I got to get up out of here, man.
Okay.
Wrap it up on what I just said.
Yeah, I heard you say this years ago, and you was talking about hate, and you said white men is on money. You can't have so much hate in them for them because you'll keep everything about them away. Money.
Hey, boy, you be remembering some shit.
Hey, look, so now you said that. And
I know.
when you understand that, that becomes the change. That becomes the more appeasable, the more in relation I have to get the money. You got to understand where the money come from, right? And I would say this, even in today's time, you can't do nothing in America right now if you don't have a paper trail. You can sell $1 million worth of whatever you got in the shoebox. You can't do a motherfucking thing with that money. I'm talking about not one damn thing. If it ain't got a paper trail, it ain't no good. Go in the hood and buy weed with it.
That's it. And cigars from the Arab store.
That's all it's good for. So I'm saying this to say, when you talk about that chain, being able to show I got it. Yeah. We really need to examine that. And that's when we get into, sometimes we let the money make us, and we don't really make the money. Because when I ain't got none and you don't see none, see, the value be coming from within. That's where the real money live at. And like they say, you can't serve two. When you serving to be something outside of yourself, yeah, it'll look just like the white man, validated and motherfucking stamped.
Well, there it is, man. Y'all already know what time it is. We got me and Miss Carla tomorrow night. Y'all check out Trab Perry on Facebook, 9:30 every Thursday night. Me and my wife be kicking it Mondays on here. I appreciate you, man. And this was a wonderful show, a wonderful discussion, man. And I just really like our discussions, man. But we're gonna get on up out of here, y'all.
Boy, I don't want to go. Boy, I don't want to go. Man, hey, look, man, don't goddamn go, man. Give me 5 more minutes. Man, I got something I want to say. This came to me, man. This is
go ahead.
And it goes on this working point. But I want to say this. You told a powerful story, and it was something you said in your story about when that owner came out there and spoke to you personally. That owner of a real, about how many people work at that printing company?
Man, damn, he got 7, 8 plants, man. Probably 1,000 employees at least.
1,000 employees, right? And average right now, they're making about $26, $30 an hour, right?
Yeah.
So think of all of those lives that he's creating a platform to live the American dream. And that owner had access to you just as much as you had access to him. I work for the people that invented Velcro. His granddaughter walks from France. I got access to her. She got access to me. So let me tell y'all this one point I'm making. This how you know all this entertainment money is illusions. Because if you ain't making shit in America, you ain't got no motherfucking money. And we got access and really witnessing how it works. All that man is a piece of a process. He just put the print. Think about how much the paper mill made, who made the paper. Think about how much the company make, who make the ink. We all doing the work to make it keep turning, but we don't really understand how powerful we are in our everyday lives, being some of the greatest shit on planet Earth. And we don't realize it. For some of the richest people on planet Earth. Not them motherfuckers on TV. That's an illusion. Tiger Woods had a fight with his wife in the front yard of a motherfucker who called and said, somebody down there. Who is the motherfucker stay in his neighborhood that he just a motherfucker in their yard fighting? Wake up, y'all. and stop trying to become an illusion and realize that all you got to do is wake up and be great. That's what you're doing any goddamn way. I'm the greatest motherfucker alive. Do what I do. And anytime you go to any grocery store and buy off-brand Pamper, my spirit on that. For real. See how that work, man?
Yeah, man.
Man.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing, man. Like either way, if you got it in you, it's gonna come to the top if you continue to be yourself, man. And at the end of the day, you might as well, because you're gonna be on this motherfucker till you die anyway. You know what I'm saying? You might as well. You know what I'm saying? Man. If you ain't gonna kill yourself, you might as well.
And I want to leave with a question. Who realer than you? If you got an answer, get the fuck out of my huddle. You ain't no starter.
You already know it. Hey, fam, we gonna get out of here. Peace out, y'all.